special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. Up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, it's time for you to lose the blues. And this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
And a very special day it is, and we are live right now on Coffee Club. Of course, it's Thursday. That means my partner and my co-host this morning is our Mayor, Justin Green. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, good morning.
Happy Thursday.
It's Thursday.
In the hot seat we do have, and this is going to be a fun day, we have Dr. Mosier in the studio. Good morning, Dr. Mosier.
Good morning, good morning.
And right next to him, we have Dr. Voyles in the studio.
Good morning, Becky.
Who actually did some interning here, and I'd have to say one of my favorite interns.
Yeah, it was a great experience. It's great to be back here.
Yeah.
Not only just Salem, but back in Wslm studios.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, well, we're glad to have you and excited, and we're going to find out some great information this morning, but let's thank our sponsors, Mayor.
Please want to thank Mediview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rose's, Schneck Hospital, Temple & Temple, and Mosier Family Chiropractic.
All right, thank you to our great sponsors. Mayor, let's do some, let's talk about some things that are going on. First of all, we were just talking before we actually went on the radio about, or before we went on the air about the real nice lights that are going up. South Main Street is really looking good.
So yes, our Phase 2 project on South Main Street is again taking shape, and the crews are progressing on the punch list, the scope of work, and some of the visual things are really shaping up. And so yesterday, and actually into Tuesday starting, we put up the street. I didn't, gosh, but the street lights went up, the decorative street lights, and so that lines the corridor. And those are the same lights that were on the other project on the north side of the square, and so they match, and they look really nice. They went up, and they're just a good addition. And so there is just things that are coming together, and that project is really taking shape, and it's a really good visual. So guys, go down and look and see, and tell us what you think of them. But yeah, it's really coming together.
And Dr. Voyles, you know, and Dr. Mosier, if you haven't noticed, and this is something that you probably will remember, when you used to cross the railroad tracks there on South Main Street, there was always a hump.
Oh, yeah.
The hump is gone.
That's good.
I know. For many years ago, that used to be the lap lane, and we always had the hump, and the hump is gone.
Hump is gone. No more.
It's gone. No more.
So it is a smooth transition.
I know. We didn't even have a going away party.
No, you know, that's true.
I don't know if you need one for that. It's a good thing that it's flat now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's really weird going over it now, because, you know, you always kind of like
you expected
the hump. I know.
And yeah, so now as your vehicle approaches, like, wait a minute, what's wrong? What's missing?
What is it, Young Frankenstein? What hump?
Yeah, right. Right.
Okay, I'll stop. Anyway, so it's looking great. I'm very excited about that. So,
yeah.
And I always like on Thursdays when we have you in here reminding everybody about our beautiful facilities we have, from Lake Celinda to the walking trail there down there.
Sure. A lot of things to do outside. Lake Celinda offers that opportunity, and if you haven't been down, there's a kayak launch, there's picnic tables, there's plenty of trails to walk on. you might just want to take a lawn chair and sit by the water. A lot of people do that and just take a few minutes. Good place for a lunch break even.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Take your brown bag and go.
Right. We also have some other parks. We got the Riley's Park up there.
Yeah.
Looking great too.
Right. So
And-
plenty to do on the outside things.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot to visualize and see and do. Take advantage of that. To your point, the walking trail there on South Main, the Moan on South, the marrying up of the concrete to the road is now completed. So that transition is much better, as always planned. And so don't forget, if you just want to go walk, my gosh, we got plenty of trails.
Right. And we have doctors in the studio, so they probably would encourage people to get out and walk, right?
Well, yeah, on occasion. But isn't it so much better just to sit and relax?
Oh, I love that.
Fine, right?
Okay. No.
All right.
Is that an
I'm squirming. Yeah.
There, that was
I'm squirming
doctor's
in my seat.
orders.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Yeah.
you were talking about Riley's Park, and I was thinking, well, my boys, they love going to the park. But then the walking trail, we like to go walking. I like to put the boys or the little boys in the stroller, and we enjoy that walking trail. That is just so nice. But then Lake Celinda, I'm like, now I'm kicking myself as you were talking about that. I was like, oh, I need to take the boys fishing.
Oh, yeah.
We've just been so busy with the transition of getting into the new building
Absolutely.
and then getting this guy on board.
Right.
So
It's a lot of work.
I was like, I need to take the boys fishing.
Yeah.
But here's a fun story. So Tuesday.
I love his stories. Okay, go. Okay.
So on Tuesday, I texted Shelby. So because both Elle and I work, we have a nanny that helps us, and so Shelby is just such a blessing, right? I mean, just phenomenal. I texted her and said, hey, I need to adjust the boys because every week I adjust all my boys just to make sure their spines are healthy and well. And I have that pediatric table in the office, and so so our style of adjustment is using drop pieces, right? And so these drop pieces for the pediatric table is more shallow, so I was like, well, I want to adjust them in the office. So anyway, she brings them in, and we have this long hallway, and here comes Isaiah. Vroom, runs past me. I'm like, well, that was weird. All right, here comes Isaiah. Vroom, runs past me. I'm like, there's something weird going on. Surely the little ones, they love me. And so here comes Ethan. Vroom, gone. And so the last one, Evan, who's just, 18 months, so he's waddling. I'm like, and I'm on a knee, I have my hands out, I'm so ready. Come here, baby boy. Gone. So I turn around and I look, there's Emily behind me. Emily is their aunt.
Uh-huh.
And she has all the boys. She's the cool aunt, and I'm the boring dad.
Oh, I love that.
I'm glad that you love it, because I don't.
Yeah.
I also love it.
Yeah. I bet Emily loved it too.
Oh, yeah, she's just smiling ear to
Of
ear. and
course,
just like, yeah.
I love that so much. That's cute. That's really cute. Well, that's part of it. But those cool aunts, you can't beat them. That's great. Well, it is part of it. And also, when you're there at Lake Celinda, don't forget, have you taken them on that walking trail out like through the woods?
Not this year, but last year I have.
That's
and it's,
so fun.
That's a nice.
Yeah,
that's
and then if
really
you go
pretty.
far enough down, you can actually, there's like an obstacle course thing you can do, which I always like to do too. So
I've never done that.
yeah.
We should do that together.
There you go.
Well, what are you doing when we leave here?
There you go. All right, you two. You got your walking shoes on?
Maybe. Yeah,
He's
let's
kind of
do it.
busy, probably. He's got appointments, probably, I'm sure. But anyway, yeah. So those are just some suggestions of things
Sure.
to do for the summer.
That's
people
right.
Looking for stuff. So.
Yeah.
All right, things to do. All right, let's see what today is real quick. Today is the 25th day of June. We're burning up June. Today is actually Color TV Day.
Color TV. Wow.
Man.
Okay. This is also Global Beatles Day. Beatles music, you guys like?
I don't think anybody doesn't like the Beatles.
I know. What was your
But
favorite
there's
song you like?
bigger
Or
fans.
excuse me, Dr. Voyles.
Here Comes the Sun, probably. I
Oh,
love that song. It's any place, anytime.
that's like wonderful. But do you have one? Okay.
I
Put him
don't.
on the spot.
I know.
I need a list.
Mhm.
I struggle
Said,
with.
Hey Jude.
Yeah, that.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wait a minute. Aren't you older than me? How do I know all that stuff?
What about you, Mayor? Do you have?
I appreciate the music. Beatles is not my. Yeah, I wasn't a real huge Beatle fan.
Oh, yeah.
I will enjoy somebody who does a cover of that.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them, yeah, they'll do better.
Really good cover band.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Also today is, and I'm getting all these ads telling me. Okay. Hang on just a second. I did not click onto that, but let's see here. Here we go back. All right. The Beatles Day. This is also National Bomb Pop Day. You know those. They're the frozen bomb pops. The popsicles.
Oh yeah, those are sweet.
Oh,
the red,
okay.
white, and blue ones.
Right.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
they're really good. Really good.
That doesn't match my diet though.
I know. I know. That was so interesting. Yeah, I had that lives free in my head. Your stories, those were really cool. National Catfish Day.
Good.
See,
Okay,
what
see,
is
I
it?
need to go catfishing.
That's exactly
The
right. This
stars
is
are
your
aligned.
sign.
Yeah.
This is your sign. Now, have you ever done the noodling? Into the hand?
No.
I'm not tough enough for that. Like, have you?
No.
I could see Dr.
No.
Voyles doing
I
that. For
don't
some
know.
reason,
I
I
don't know
think
if I'm tough enough to do that either.
I think if somebody said, "Hey, come over here, let's do this," I think Dr.
If they
Voyles.
told me I couldn't do it, I would do it.
That's right.
Okay, that's all we have to do.
That's right. All right. National Handshake Day. So when you handshake, is there a proper way, like to handshake?
Oh man.
Oh, look at these two. Look at these
You
doctors.
just got him
Did-
started.
Look at this.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Buckle up.
All right, I love it.
When I go into the report findings or the consult room and I'm meeting a new patient for the first time,
Okay.
I put my hand out, palm up, always. So if you look at a politician, which, speaking of politicians, no, if you ever watch like on TV and things like that, they put their hand, they do a dominating approach. Their hand is over top, right?
Okay.
And sometimes you'll see attorneys do that and things like that. As a doctor, Dr. Voyles and I, we want people to feel comfortable because a lot of people are nervous seeing a chiropractor for the first time.
Sure.
You know, it's
Sure.
a very, close proximity that you are with somebody. And so I want to come in, I'm here to serve you. So I have the palm up. Now it's still a firm grip, handshake, and you still look someone in the eye. But it's a very servant gesture, right? Which this reminds me of another story.
Okay. I love it.
You're gonna get sick of my story.
No, I like your stories. Go ahead.
So, I was seeing a guy's wife. Her name is Karen, and she was doing great. A lot of neck, shoulder issues. So then Bill goes, "Hey, can you help with restless leg syndrome?" And so we started talking. But going back to the handshake, I want to preface this. He's ex-military, ex-Marine. Back when Marines were Marines, okay? Older guy, these guys probably chewed rusty bolts for chewing gum. Like, this is like
yeah.
man's
yeah.
man,
Yeah.
right? So he stands up, broad chest, forearms just massive, dude. And when he shakes your hand, you feel it. But I still had the palm. So anyway, handshake is very good, very critical, especially when you're working with people. But anyway, restless leg. Let me finish this story out, if that's okay. So he has restless leg, which is where your legs just flail around when you're trying to rest at night, and it's like a very involuntary movement. Similar to, think of like Parkinson's, okay? Just these involuntary movements. And so we looked at his x-rays, and we actually looked at them together, didn't we?
Yeah.
And a lot of deterioration in his lower lumbar spine, but also in the upper cervical. He had a lot of deterioration, a lot of the atlas, the top bone in the neck was shifting over, so that put pressure on the brainstem, so then that causes this facilitation system where those inhibitory neurons, you have activating neurons, so like if I was going to go grab Mayor Green here, that's an activating thing, but having that control, you have to have inhibitory neurons firing at the same time. So it's not all awkward. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, okay.
So the same concept with Parkinson's, you have these involuntary movements because these inhibitory neurons are not firing, okay? So the same thing with restless leg. So I adjusted him on Tuesday. Wednesday he came in and I was hoping, he'll sleep like maybe 30, 40 minutes more because he wasn't sleeping at all at night. He came in and said, I went to bed at 10:30 and I woke up at 4:30 and I didn't wake up at all. So we skipped the handshake, and I went straight to the hug.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was going to get beat up or not because
Yeah.
ex-Marine,
Yeah.
they're not usually huggers. But I was so excited
Oh.
that I just bam.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, yeah. Well, I would think, like what you're talking about, and I'm not, a doctor, nor do I play one on TV, but I would think that when you handshake, and let's say that you do handshake a lot, in business you do a lot of handshaking, especially if you go like to a conference or you're going to somewhere, and I would think that reaching of that, and then like the shake, I wondered like would that be anything on your spine or your back, all of that shaking that you're doing? Does that, what I'm saying, that because sometimes you have those that kind of shake hard, you always say a firm handshake. Do you see, is that anything, that you see?
I feel like it would be, it definitely has like roots in a problem, but I think you'd have to do it so much to really show up as a problem. Maybe Mayor Green would have that experience shaking so many hands, but we don't typically shake that many hands to cause an injury. But there is like, just like when he was talking about for the restless leg syndrome, it's really interesting getting to look at x-rays of people because you can really tell a story about why they're doing those things. So if somebody did get injury from a handshake or something, an x-ray is going to show why. And a lot of times it would be linked to the spine from where that problem's coming from, just like that guy was with his legs. Because,
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like sometimes like you can just do weird things and your back will just go out or whatever, your spine or whatever, you know what I mean? And I was thinking like if you lean in and you like do a lot of handshaking, and you go places like that, sometimes the weirdest thing could be, you could mountain climb and not hurt anything, and then just a weird handshake turn or lean in or something could probably.
I love it, and I want you to talk on it too.
Go for it.
But you've heard the concept where it's the camel that broke the straw's back. Wait a minute, did I say that backwards?
You said it backwards.
Okay, let's try that again. It's the camel that, nope, the straw that broke the camel's back. There we go.
Yeah,
okay. So Dr. Voyles, I have this where it's somebody bend down and they pick up this pin off the floor or a piece of paper off the floor and then they throw their back out. Okay, was the pen or the pencil so heavy that it tore up their back? Heavens no, right? There was injuries that was happening beforehand. Dr. Voyles and I, we look at x-rays, and if you have bone spurs, that means you've had an injury years ago, because these calcium deposits that form, they take years to form, right?
Yeah, I would say, like, sorry to interrupt, but a lot of times when we're talking to people, it's about understanding that there's a past, present, and future. So right now, presently, you might have an injury, right, from the pin scenario, but it's more of a past thing that's happened to get you to this place that you're currently at. So then what does that look like in the future if you don't do something about that? Because a lot of times when he was talking about looking at x-rays, we like to look at that because it has a lot to do with spacing. So when he was talking about the nerve flow, nerves really do two things. They're motor, so they power the ability to move, but then they also have sensory, so they allow you to feel things. A lot of the motor function has to do with space in your body. So if your bones are close together from past injuries or you don't have the correct spacing, sometimes it is just like changing a light bulb, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm down on the ground, right? So our job is to really look at that and make sure that you have the correct space and the correct nerve flow so that you can be the human that you were designed to be, and that a pin's not going to knock you out for the weekend.
Well, and I want to add just a little bit more science, if that's okay, for your audience. So you think about like my kids, right? Isaiah's 9, and then Evan's all the way down to a year and a half. So these little kids, and you notice how little kids, they fall down, they bump, they bruise, whatever, but they recover so much faster. But us old folks, well, I guess, me and Mayor Green, us old folks.
Correct. Yes. Right.
We fall down and we break a hip.
Mine.
But
he did have some hard falls, and we got it on video. So and I'm one of those that laugh when it happens. I'm sorry.
Of course.
I know.
Yes.
I was making sure he's okay, and then I laugh. Okay,
That's the correct order.
That's right.
But let's think about this for a second. So once we're past the age of 20, our ligaments, our tendons, and our disc become avascular. So let's break down what is a ligament. A ligament is a connective tissue that holds bone to bone, okay, and then a tendon, and if Dr. Voyles has bigger arms and stronger than I am.
About to break through my shirt here.
That's right, but you got the the biceps here, right? And then that tendon connects muscle to bone. That's what moves the bone. Okay? And then your disc is just the cushion between the vertebral bodies. Okay. So if they're avascular, then the question is, isn't that bad? Because you need blood supply to every cell, every organ, every tissue.
Dr. Mosier, what does avascular mean?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Why didn't you ask me?
Because I'm amazed.
We're taking notes.
I'm sorry, I'm over here on Eli's arm.
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
He's been working out.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
When he was interning with me, he did not have these arms, and then he shows up.
Well, I
and
didn't
I'm
get
like,
when he was interning with me. He didn't have those
Yeah.
arms.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got prison body now.
I was just wondering if that's the Marine you're talking about over there. Go ahead.
Okay, avascular. I'm so sorry. So A means without.
Okay.
Vascular means blood supply. Okay. So now you think about, okay, why do we have blood supply? Our heart beats. We have to get oxygen to our muscles or skin or what have you, and then metabolic waste out. Okay. So then you think about, God, did you make a mistake with this engineering process? Why don't you have blood supply to the ligaments, tendons, and discs? Let's backtrack. You have an old injury. Sometime you slipped and fell, like Mayor Green, clumsy Mayor Green, right?
Sure,
Or,
sure.
You have an old football injury,
Yeah.
or a military injury, what have you, and then your bones shift out of whack, but they never got corrected. So then what you do is you develop this scar tissue, and so that's why it takes a handful of adjustments to
Yep.
really move that needle back into place. You see what I'm saying? But that's why it takes time, and so that's why kids respond so much faster to adjustments than us old folks, is because it takes longer. We got to keep that moving. That's why decompression is so vitally critical, because you take that disc and you open that thing up. I wish we had like video, because I talk with my hands so much.
Yeah, but you're doing good. You're explaining it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to take the vertebrae, the disc, and we got to open that up. It's kind of like this pumping mechanism. That pumping mechanism allows that, it's like a hydraulic pump, and it gets the metabolic waste out, like CO2 and things like that, and then you got to get the nutrients in, you got to get the oxygen, and you got to get the glucose in, and you got to keep moving, because if a joint is stuck, then it's not moving, and if it's not moving, then it's not getting that pumping action. And so that's where chiropractic really shines, is restoring that movement. So going back to your walking, I was being silly, you really should walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
What do you have to add?
I agree 100%. Like walking, I think, so I've been going to the Y a little bit, hanging out with them, talking a little bit of chiropractic down there. And one thing I'm extremely proud of them for is the yoga classes that they do. They'll have regulars for any age group, but especially there's a lady that I talked to, I can't remember her name, so I'm so sorry. But she's in her 90s doing the yoga class.
I love that.
And to me, that's extremely impressive. And I tell people a lot of times, it's not, you don't have to Olympic lift or power lift or anything like that. Sometimes it's as simple as just walking. So prior to chiropractic, I worked in Medicare insurance, and the healthiest people were people that had three things. Community, so something to hang out with, which they get there at the Y or at the senior center there. Purpose, so something to do, right? And then they're having motion and less medicine, so little to no medicine. So, just even something like a yoga class or walking is doing exactly what Dr. Mosier was talking about, pumping those discs, making sure those joints are still working, because the quicker that you want to decay, just sit and watch TV, right? Don't move, don't do things, because your body actually it thinks that it needs to get stronger, so it sends reinforcements, which gets you stiffer, which makes it harder to move, and then it's this cyclical problem. So that's why it's amazing we do have things like Cylinder or the walking trails, or it's funny that he takes his kids to Riley's, because I remember playing at Riley's Park too when I was a kid.
I know you
way
did.
back,
yeah.
Way back when.
Summer fun.
We still had the summer fun stuff, yes.
Yeah.
So it's nice because it doesn't have to be complex. It can be something as simple as just getting out and taking a walk after you have lunch or dinner or something like that.
I think, I always tell my girls, and I always say, your bodies were made to move. Get out and move. Let's move, And, even if you can't get somewhere, they're at home, use, I remember Sherry White, she was a teacher.
Yeah.
She would,
A swim teacher.
and she would take like cans of green beans or corn and just, use them as weights. You use anything you have at home, you know what I mean, to work that body, you know what I mean, so you don't have expensive stuff, you know, figure out, you know, ways to do it at home, you know, get up, get moving, you know, use your stairs, go up and down, you know.
And I think a lot of it too is it's making it fun. You know,
Yeah.
when we were kids, it was fun to do the summer fun stuff at Riley's Park, but you didn't realize you were exercising.
No,
you know?
yeah.
You're just moving and
Yeah.
you're doing
Yeah.
something that's entertaining, and that's why I've always kind of leaned towards sports and things like that, because, you know, just I love playing basketball. I think it's a state sport of Indiana, so you kind of have to like it. But you're playing,
It's your
and
birthright.
yeah, and you don't realize that you're even running that much, right?
Right.
And you're cutting and doing things, and me and Dr. Mosier get up and play with Southern Hills at 5:30 Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, wow.
So it's a good way to start the day, but you know, we get cardio, we get exercise without really thinking about it, because we're there for, you know, prayer, community, and then just a little bit of competitiveness.
I love it.
But
A
it's
little
also
bit.
it's also exercise without
Yeah.
us knowing.
Right.
It is exercise, but what's really frustrating, Dr. Voyles has an incredible three-point range.
Oh, no.
I mean, it is so frustrating. I mean, I was in his face, both hands up. I jumped as high as I can, and he just drains it. I'm like, I think I'm going to fire you. Like, get out of here.
My job security is in jeopardy
That's
because of the
right.
game.
Wait for your 90-day review.
That's right.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, you'll have a good exit interview. Well, no, I was just listening. Caitlin Clark up there, you know, so she got fouled and pushed her, and she didn't agree with the call that the ref made, so she just went up there and shot a 3 and said, we're done, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
or whatever. So there you go. That's the best revenge there.
I would channel Caitlin Clark. I think she could, you know, do a little bit
Yeah,
better
but
than me,
she's
but
no,
I
no.
love her. She's awesome for the
I
theater.
know. Yeah, fantastic. But well, I think this is good, and I hope that, you know, we are in this summer. We got beautiful weather. Nobody, you know, in the winter, a lot of times you can use this excuse. It's too cold, you know, winter, and we do know there's things you can do inside. You know what I mean? And you know those excuses. But right now, there's no excuses. You can get out. You can get moving. You can do. We've had beautiful weather, and we've got great facilities here locally. And you know, there's really not much excuse not to get out and do something, you know.
Well, even just being outside with vitamin D, like that's a minor thing, but actually it's really major for most people, because your mood changes when you get sunlight. Even just being outside
Agreed.
for just a little bit, it'll be a major difference. So, you know, just like the mayor was saying, get out and walk in the sunshine for 15, 20 minutes, and you'll see how much your mood changes.
Yeah.
And even motivation too. You'll be more motivated to do things that they're on that pesky check off list.
Well, and mentally, and I'm sure that plays a lot in your, you know.
Oh, yeah. So, well, I was just thinking, you know, of course, we talked last time about my weight loss, and I lost quite a bit of weight, but just getting more out in the sun, getting that vitamin D. So then Karen Smedley did my blood work, and my vitamin D went to a much higher, much healthier level. So there's a direct correlation between it, and Dr. Voyles can attest to this, a correlation between testosterone levels, which is healthy testosterone, not, you know, taking anabolic steroids and, you know, beefing out, but like just a healthy testosterone level and your vitamin D levels there's a strong correlation there. And then that helps with your weight loss, it helps with your mental capacity, losing that brain fog, like we talked about last time. So getting out, walking, yes, but I have a lot of folks, and Dr. Voyles does too, because he works hand in hand with the YMCA, where they use exercise as their way to cope with stress, mental anxiety, depression. There's studies out now where they study the MRI and brain patterns that exercise is more effective than I think it's SSRIs. Am I saying that right?
Antidepressants for the most part.
Yeah, exercise works so much better, and you don't have to be a bodybuilder, and you don't have to be in the gym 3 hours a session or what have you. Just simply walking, maybe playing basketball or playing golf. Right?
And the reality of the situation is you're going to have stress. So it depends on how you're going to cope with the stress. So, you know, some people I know do stress cleaning, right? Go clean the entire house, wipe the baseboards, do all that kind of stuff. That's also a form of exercise, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like Dr. Mosier's saying, it doesn't have to be powerlifting. It can be golf, it can be basketball, it can be pickleball. And, you know, we mentioned the Y a couple times, but the Y has a great resource for the community for all of those things, because they have all those things right there available. But even if you don't have those, you can get outside and just do something in the yard, like you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just whatever works best for whatever your situation is. Yeah, so. All right, so that was our handshake day. Now, real quick, National Police Community Cooperative Day, and we love our police, and our police are above and beyond. And today, we honor all of our emergency personnel, but today they are talking about the police. So hats off to them. So
Absolutely.
Very good.
yeah.
Well, I got a question for Dr. Voyles on that.
Okay.
So, what do you think of their belts that they have to wear?
Yeah, so I've actually talked to a couple of police officers, and we love chiropractic for police officers, because police officers, if you think about their days, a lot of it is sitting in the vehicle, getting up and out of the vehicle, and then back into the vehicle. Also, the posture for typing on the computer in the car. And then what Dr. Mosier was mentioning, they have this heavy weight tied around their waist all day long, right, with a lot of different equipment. And that's part of the uniform. Our job is always to not tell you what not to do. We'll advise on things that maybe might be hard on your spine, but we're not trying to get you to prevent you from doing things. We're trying to get you into a place where you're strong enough to do the things you like or the things you need to do. So for like a police officer, they cannot take those belts off.
No.
Right? So we like working with police officers because that is an extra strain every day, and then just the job itself, getting up and getting down, it's a lot of stress on your spine. And over time, if you look at some of those guys that are a little bit older and closer to retirement age, a lot of them do have problems moving, problems with how their body's functioning. And that's not because they're weak or they can't handle things. It's more about maybe they just didn't have somebody take a look at how their spine is performing. And that's why we get excited about having new patients. It's not because we have extra things to do in the office. We like being busy, but it's more about giving back to the community and making sure people are staying healthy, because a lot of people have no idea what their spine looks like. And you could be on the outside very muscular, very fit looking, because I've worked, yeah, he's pointing to me because maybe my spine's terrible, I don't know. But we've worked with a lot of people that on the outside look healthy, right? And you would say, this is a person that I would like to model after. It could be a wrestler, a professional sports athlete. But then you take a look at their spine, and it's not the same story, because it's much like a house. Your spine is the foundation. You don't see that when you're driving by a house, right? What we see is the exterior, the siding, the windows, and things like that. Your windows could be amazing tinted, and your siding could be just freshly painted, but if that foundation is terrible, you're not going to be able to sell that house. So when we're looking at x-rays, we're looking at what does the foundation of your body look like. And long term, that's what's going to keep you healthy. That's what's going to get you into those yoga classes at 90 plus years old, is being able to have the foundation there for you to be able to do those things. So a little bit of a rant, but the Police Officers Foundation is always something we want to focus on, because we do support the police officers and really respect what they do. And if they're having to wear all that extra equipment, and just the job itself is already a little bit dangerous, and then also you add in the up down from the vehicle, it's important that they can perform at the top level for their job, but then also stay healthy for their families and stay healthy for the people that need them in their lives outside of the role.
I love that.
I love that you said a little bit dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, you never know what you're going to run into.
Yeah, well, I think, it's important, they're giving to our community, and they're sacrificing. So it's so good, to take care of them, and they've been taking care of everyone else. They need to take care of themselves.
I think we need to have a meeting with the mayor. I think what they need...
Hopefully we could get a hold of it.
I know.
We could find him.
We'll find him somewhere. But those vests, some of the police officers that come in, it's more money, but it have the vest with the pockets. We need to figure something out.
What are you suggesting here?
I think they need the vest, equipment. Yeah.
Okay.
Just solve all the world's problems, okay?
Yeah. Well, I think that, they do, I've never, I guess I think about, how, I always go from the angle, if you look at the log, like, the dispatcher's log, when we lay our head down on a pillow, they're going full throttle still all night long, all the things that go on. But I don't think sometimes we realize, like what you're saying, and like the belts, and they do, the vest, everything, and you're not telling them not to do their job and not wear the, the protective uniform. It's what can we do to help that, or to work with that. Lovely. That's just lovely.
Well, I have so many stories, so
okay.
I apologize. But so
Your time to shine.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm on the radio. I'm famous.
One moment in time.
So, one of our patients that comes in, he serves in the military as, I believe the term is EOD. He deals with the bombs. Okay, so he brought in his bomb suit one day and let me try it on. Talk about a heavy piece of equipment.
Sure.
Like the helmet, like you put the helmet on it, and we're like, okay, I need adjusted. You know, like, and then just but it, of course, he's done with bombs. So our military, they have heavy vests, but also our police officers with heavy vests. And it's a lot of wear and tear. It's like, it's kind of popular in the workout industry wearing weighted vests, you know, because sometimes I'll go to the football field and I'll run bleachers or I'll run sprints and things like that, and I'll put on like a 20-pound weighted vest. But some of their weighted vests are what? I think 40 or 50 pounds.
Wouldn't doubt it.
And they're not just wearing it for like an hour-long workout.
Right.
They're wearing it for an 8-hour shift.
Absolutely.
And so now you can kind of see that compounding effect in their spine. So, yeah.
Yeah, both of us really love working with service members, whether it's firefighters, police officers, military. Not only because they're giving a lot to us, but because a lot of the time they're not taken well. This past week, I actually just talked to a guy that was a former military person that was in the line of an RPG attack that's in what they call death zone. So he took his X-ray. He had surgery on his low back, and the VA had not followed up with him for multiple months. So it was an opportunity for us to step in there and help him with that continuation of care. But it was interesting because even in his X-rays, he still has scrap metal from that explosion.
Oh wow!
So that's something that really cool to get to talk to him because a cool guy. But it's also cool to be able to step in there and help him out because he's an avid bicycle rider. So when you have surgery on that last lumbar, his is specifically L5S1, so the one where your back turns into your butt. If he doesn't have proper care there, that's going to prevent him from being able to do these bicycle rides. And his bicycle rides are not just around the block. He's doing 30-mile bike rides.
Oh my, wow.
So, it's really cool to be able to help somebody like that because they've given so much, and he has an interesting perspective on life because he was literally in a zone where he could have died. So that's where our hearts are at when it comes to service members like that is, okay, well, you've given a lot to us. What can we give to you to be able to enjoy your life?
Yeah, it's the old saying, freedom isn't free,
Yeah.
And, because you were telling us in team meeting, talking about this guy, how he uses this bike riding and working out and taking care of his body because that's how he copes with PTSD.
Oh.
PTSD is a real thing.
Yeah.
And it really affects a lot of people.
Yes.
I was able to meet him and I said, I bet you have a lot of friends that you served with that have taken their own life just over the years, and he just got quiet. And isn't it sad that these people that serve our country and take care of us and the problems that they face and they struggle with, and
that's very good thought, and I think we ought to every day, but we're gearing up, getting ready for the 4th of July, and we'll be celebrating our independence and all that that has gone on.
That got us there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I appreciate you sharing that story. But yeah, that's good. A good way to cope with it and to keep your mind mentally. Also, we're going to get through these holidays, I guess. National Strawberry Parfait Day. I'm sure that would help my spine.
Oh man.
I'm sure that would make me have the best spine around if I had a strawberry parfait, right?
Those are delicious. They'll make your spine smile.
Is one enough?
I know it shows 3 on here, but
okay.
We need a 4th one, one for everybody, right?
There we go.
Yes.
They look delicious. Let's see here. So those are now we made it through our through our holidays there. But I really do appreciate all of that. That was very interesting, to hear that. But I think let's I've got there's so many ways to talk about, because I want to talk about Dr. Voyles that come in on and all that. But let's just since we're kind of in here, let me talk. How do, like, when someone comes and sees you, and how do you, like, do you just know that the issues, like when they start talking about like problems they're having, or like, is that when the X-ray comes into it, and like, do you kind of, when you're consulting with someone, kind of talk about how we're going to get the recovery, or kind of go into detail on that?
I'm gonna let Dr. Voyles take over.
Okay.
Very much. Yeah, so it's a multi angle approach for a person, because everybody is different. So there's nobody that walks in that we're like automatically like, yeah, that person's this, right? So there's many different ways to do chiropractic, and I appreciate Dr. Mosier's style, because I've been in around 15, 16 offices just going through school and then working and things like that. So I've seen a lot of different approaches, and not every single chiropractor is created equally, and we're not going to talk bad about chiropractic or anything like that, but think about a good analogy would be like getting your hair cut. You know, there's a difference between going to a salon and then going to like a sports clips. There's just a different approach for that. So there's nothing wrong with how you're getting your hair cut, but there's different ways of doing it. For us, we have a very thorough approach to figure out how we can help somebody. When they come in, the first thing that we're going to do is, arguably one of the most important things, is sitting down and talking with you to see, from your perspective, what are you going through and what's causing an issue, or why would you want to even come into the office? What's your intention? And that's really good, because it's an opportunity for us to connect and get some of those stories, and sometimes people are looking for that connection more so than even the pain that they're experiencing, because there's healing in that connection as well. But first thing we'll do is we'll talk to you a little bit, see from your perspective what's going on, and then the secondary approach, or the second step for that approach, is collecting data, because we don't want to just only go off of what's been said. Not saying that things are not accurate or not truthful, but we like to have multiple angles to kind of approach. So the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some what's called autonomic nervous system scans. So autonomic is automatic, so think my heart beating, my stomach digesting my food, me breathing without thinking. We have a few tests that go over and show how those systems are functioning for you. So we'll give you an individual number that gives you a score from 0 to 100 of where you're at. And a lot of that has to do with kind of what Dr. Mosier was talking at the beginning, where if your nervous system is functioning correctly, those are going to be working very well, which protects you from sickness, allows you to move better. There's a lot of things that it can help with. So first, get those autonomic nervous system test numbers, and we sit down and explain what all of those mean to you and how to improve those and what happens if you don't improve those. And then after that, we also get imaging of your spine. That's one of our favorite things, because it's really interesting how much a image of your spine tells a story of how your health is going. One thing that we see quite often is you're supposed to have a 45-degree curve in your neck. The 45-degree curve is supposed to be shaped like a banana. Most people, it doesn't matter what your age is, but most people do not have that. That's not something that you can exercise or do yoga or stretch to obtain. That's something that you have to have an intervention to do. When you don't have that 45-degree curve, it shows up over time. The longer that you don't have that, it shows up in different areas. It can be organ function, it can be bone spurs, it can be a lot of different things. But one interesting thing that we see direct correlation is say we have a person that's above probably 35 or 40 come in and they do not have that 45-degree curve in their neck. Almost every single time they'll have dental issues. And it's a really easy way to show that the nerve supply from your neck is in control of the nerves to your teeth. Your teeth decay a lot faster than your organs or your bones will. So if that 45-degree curve is not there and your teeth don't have the nerve supply, they will die, right? So a lot of these people will have dentures or teeth implants or things like that. And so it's kind of interesting, because we can look at the neck curve and we're like, oh, this is very straight. Oh, well, that's why they have all these different things on the x-ray in their teeth, because their nerves are not connected right there to those teeth. So long story short, we're going to collect data by talking to you, get some of those autonomic nervous system scans, take the images, and then when you come back, we go over all of that with you and explain why these things are happening, and show you exactly what that adjustment's going to be like.
So, Dr. Voyles, I just want to point this out to you because I watch people. So as soon as you said, bad spine, bad teeth, that analogy, if you notice, both Becky and Mayor Green, their postures shifted.
Oh man!
Yeah.
So trying to protect those teeth.
Yes, they both shifted, and so I have a question, but I'm trying to figure out how to ask it because we are on the radio, and I don't want to be awkward or anything. Have you two ever had dental work done?
You mean?
Like, of course, there's routine cleanings and
Sure.
things like that.
Yeah.
But like, how's your teeth?
I think okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. But I know some that they have dental problems, and it's such a. I don't think we understand how that connects so much to our body.
Right.
And
Right.
I just saw someone. I saw actually where someone was really sick and actually passed away, and it was the dental. It was the problems in there. I don't think we realize that.
Yeah. The nerves in the neck are so critical. And there's, just piggybacking off of what Dr. Voyles was saying. So we both want to specialize in scoliosis. We're in training right now for specializing in scoliosis. This is, the level of certification that we're going after is, you only find, a handful in the
I
nation.
love this so much that you guys are doing this.
And we get a lot of results with
Yeah.
scoliosis. But one of the key aspects with scoliosis, which just so everybody knows, scoliosis is 10 degrees or more, and it's when you're looking at someone front to back, they curve. Okay, is that making sense?
Yeah, is that okay? Are they born with it, or can they develop
Oh,
that?
okay. You done did it.
Okay. Unleash the Krakens. It's
Here we
coming.
go.
Okay.
Okay, so it's commonly called idiopathic adolescent scoliosis. So adolescents, teenagers, right? That's when you typically develop it because that's when you have massive growth. This is when your hormones change, and this is when you'll start to see scoliotic curves. Okay, that's when most people develop it. I have over the years seen cases where toddlers and kids have it. The sooner you develop scoliosis or start to have those curves like in kids, that is far worse. So infantile scoliosis is far worse than adolescent scoliosis, simply because it has more time to get worse, okay? And if it gets to a certain point, it can compromise heart and lung function, okay? And we're talking 50, 60 degrees, okay? So most of our cases we're seeing is 20, 30, 40 degrees, which are, of course,
They're bad, but they're not like a 50 or 60 where it would be almost deadly.
yeah. However, it compromises the spine. So now, idiopathic, let's break that word down. That means we don't know. However, there is studies showing that it's hereditary. Now, there's studies, but then there's clinical findings. And because I'm an old man and I've seen a lot of cases, I have families that would come in and like, well, your grandma, her spine looks a lot like yours, and similar patterns of the spine. So we know that there's a genetic factor. But here's my point that I was trying to make is Dr. Voyles was talking about loss of curve in the neck. He was talking about, I think you used the analogy of a bridge, how strong a bridge is, right?
Yeah.
And it has to have that 45-degree angle. When you lose that curve, that's when everything breaks down, and that's when those scoliotic curves develop. So not only is the nerves in the neck affecting your mental capacity, but it's affecting your teeth, but it can affect your entire spine.
No,
Is that
it's
helpful?
really, yeah. And I'm thinking about your neck. I mean, and let's say your head. When you let's say you play dodgeball. Let's play softball. Let's play, basketball. Anything. You get hit in the head sometimes with a ball or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which you can feel that in your neck, or riding a roller coaster. The wooden roller coasters. They always get me a little bit. You know what I mean?
That jarring.
Going back and forth, or just maybe falling off a bike or whatever you do. It's amazing how much your neck, you can feel like that
Yeah, and one thing that kind of blew my mind, especially about chiropractic, because obviously I grew up here in Salem, and I didn't really know too much about chiropractic. I worked with Dr. Mosier in 2020 prior to going to school, just because I wanted to see what the heck this guy's up to and what is chiropractic in general, because I was very skeptical. I was in there watching him, where is this magic happening? What is going on here? And one thing that I really blew my mind when I got into school was, if you think about even something like a birth process, so when somebody's born, the United States is very high in C-section births. So when you do a C-section, that's the baby's coming earlier, and the doctor or the practitioner is influencing that baby to come out. And a lot of times, if a baby is coming out with their head first, that means they're being yanked out of the body by their neck. So you could have trauma in the very first minute of your life. And that is why we like working with kids, because it's about making sure their frame is there so that they can develop properly. Because if your very first second on earth you're experiencing trauma, that can then develop scoliosis, right? Or then you can develop things like earaches, or a really baby that cries all the time, mood swings and things like that. And it's not the baby's fault, it's not a personality thing. It's the fact that your frame is not there to support you. So when you talked about working with people in different ages, your body always tries to find a home that it wants to be at, and when you're younger, it's developing that home. So if you don't have the home aligned correctly or structured correctly, it shows up in people later on in life. So just like the scoliosis, if you're an adolescent that has scoliosis and you don't do anything about that, it will progress as you get older. And chiropractic is something that steps in and helps with that, because surgery, oftentimes what they'll do is they'll eliminate something. We're trying to make sure that you have all the same stuff, but it's in the right place.
I love that. I do. And and I'm not knocking any surgeons, but I've heard so many stories of anyone that's had back surgery and it's not been real successful, or really, and I think a lot of I don't want to, speak necessarily. I think surgeons would prefer to go this method instead of actually having to do a surgery.
Yeah, the coolest part about chiropractic lately is it's gotten a lot of teamwork from physicians.
Yes, exactly.
Because in the past, prior to probably 1970, 1980, they were against each other. Medical professionals do not work with chiropractors, and chiropractors don't work with medical professionals.
Right.
I don't think that that's where the future is going to. I think people are going to make a team for your health.
I agree.
And I think that that's a much better comprehensive approach, because there is just a solution for different things and specialists for different things. And if you have back issues, maybe try a chiropractor first before you do surgery, because surgery is really hard to reverse.
Yeah.
Well, you think about this. As soon as you cut open an area, right, that's causing scar tissue, right? And so I've seen this over the years, and that new patient that you had, that the shrapnel and everything, he had back surgery.
Yep.
And so usually it's 2 years, 18 months to 2.5 years, okay, is when they start having the symptoms again. I just had a new patient yesterday. She had a discectomy, which is where you have the disc and they kind of cut part of it out, okay, and she felt good for about 18 months. And then she came in, and this isn't funny, but I walked in the room to greet, and with my handshake and everything, right? I'm walking in, and she says, "Doc, I think I'm dying." I'm like, okay, this is going to be a great conversation. Here we go. But anyway, I found out that her whole leg is completely numb, tons of pain. She can barely stand up. She's, not much older than you and I, and she's walking with a cane. Like just absurd. So I was able to get the x-rays, and then that afternoon we were able to get her adjusted, and she, as soon as she got to the table, she stood up straight. Wow. Now obviously it's going to take a series of adjustments to really correct that spine, but it's,
And one of the quotes she said too was, "This is not me," which is a really cool opportunity for us, because when you have pain or when you're going through something like that, it does take a person away from their personality. So even when I was working with them in 2020, there was a lady that came in that was very, let's say, off-putting, She was hard to get along with, and she was pretty mean to me. Let's just say we didn't get along.
Setup, you know,
Yeah.
Dr. Mosier. It's a setup.
But when she came in, one thing you don't realize is a lot of times when people when they are mean to you, it's less about you, more about what's going on with them.
Yeah.
And for her, she was in so much pain.
Yeah.
And pain really changes people on a different scale. So it was just like that lady, you know. She felt like this is not who she is. She doesn't want this cane. She doesn't want to walk around like that.
Right.
So it's cool to be able to step in there and help them get back to the person that they are.
Right. Well, I think, and I heard a quote the other day, and I think, you know, when you're talking about health, and you guys can borrow this because I think this is such a good thing. Do you want to be in the game or you want to watch the game? So if you want to be in the game of life and you want to get movement, then you better take, you know, your health, take care of it, be a part, you know. If you want to be able to function, which I think, you know, function as well as you can or what you can do, you know. And, you know, my mom always said, you know, it didn't happen overnight. It's not going to be cured overnight. So like what you're talking about, you know, if this happened, you know, at a younger age, maybe an injury, and then, you know, it's going to take a little bit more sessions or more appointments to get this out, then is that correct? You know,
sometimes we'll tell people that we can literally see the future, and it's not because we're magicians, but it's, you know, where you're at right now, this is what you're going to look like, because we've seen people that are 20 years advanced from where you're at right now.
Yeah, I
right.
love that.
So it's the same thing you were saying. You know, do you want to be in the game and actually be able to move, play with your grandkids, and do those things, or do you want to just watch the game, sit in the wheelchair, and watch your grandkids?
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was just a drop your microphone statement. I thought, wow. We're running close on time, but I've loved every bit of this, and we could keep on going. But I do need to. Okay, so we had the grand opening. I just need to kind of. I know I'm kind of flipping it here. We should have flipped this in the beginning, but everything was so interesting. I didn't want to. But we had the grand opening, successful, wonderful. Your facility is absolutely stunning, gorgeous, and just beautiful. Now, let's talk about
That's all Ellen's doing.
Okay, yay, and I hope she's listening. She did a fantastic job. 10 out of 10, chef kiss. Okay, now, let's talk about adding Dr. Voyles. We've got to get, and he's new, but he's actually he's not, I mean, he's right here. He's one of us.
He's the real thing.
Yeah.
So, there's a couple things that I'm so excited about Dr. Voyles. In school, in Chiro school, you, of course, take your classes, you pass all the tests, you do all the things, and it's a lot of coursework, and it's the same amount of coursework as a medical doctor, okay? So it's just a lot. So adding to your plate doesn't make sense unless you're really ambitious. And so what I love about Dr. Voyles is he joined clubs to train up his adjusting skills, but he also worked and did seminars after seminar to develop his communication skills. Obviously, just listening to him, he can convey the message so well, and I'm so proud of him. But he has a heart. You have a lot of doctors there's a lot of ego, if that makes sense, and you may have run into that. But Dr. Voyles is strong, he's confident, but he has a heart for people, and he's excited to work with people, both, you know, the elderly folks, but he loves working with the younger folks, and so that's going to really help our vision, our mission. But also, he's just brilliant. I mean, when you listen to him, and he's in team meeting and he's explaining some of his cases and the x-rays of his patients, and you know, I'm 10 years in of experience, and I'm still kind of like, wow, I'm learning something. This is nice.
Yeah.
But you go to the book of Proverbs, and I may misquote this, so forgive me, any pastors that are listening, but I think it's Proverbs 27:17, where, you know, just as iron sharpens iron, man sharpens man, right? And so, just having Dr. Voyles in the practice, I personally feel like I'm a better practitioner. I'm a better doctor. And you know, I know this isn't like a Christian radio station, but like, I pray for Dr. Voyles every single day. I pray for his hands, I pray for his heart, because that truly is, when you have the passion, yes, he's going to have fulfillment, but also, just like, you know, Bill and me working on him, or him working on the guy that served in the Army and he has that shrapnel in him, by us putting hands on these people and working on them, pouring life into them and being excited for their progress, that changes their life, and then they transpire, and it's this ripple effect. You know, how far-reaching does that go? Because if you adjust somebody and they have more energy and they're more present with their family, that changes the game.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what we want to do. Is we want people, and goes back to my weight loss too. But you want people to be more productive at work and more present at home. If you do that for enough people, what does that do for our kids, and what does that do for the next generation? And I think Dr. Voyles is that. Like, he is the epitome of that. And so, but he also, I watch how he interacts with the team, the staff, right? He's a leader. Like, he's a strong leader. I just hate that he makes those 3-point shots. It really frustrates me. I mean, it's gonna be awkward when I have to be like, no, you're done.
Yeah, that's
Get
right.
out of here.
That's right.
But no, I'm so impressed with him. I'm hoping he covered his ears, because
I didn't hear anything he said there.
Going out, but no, I am beyond thankful for both the building. Like, wow, that turned out nice.
Yes,
sure did.
But I'm beyond thankful for Dr. Voyles and his wisdom and what he brings to the table. And so, yeah.
Well, you know, he's a Salem High School alumni. I'm very proud of him, you know, for going and getting his education and getting all of the things that he needed to do, and all of the great classes that he's taken. And then he's come back and he's giving back to our community.
Yeah.
That's what I like the most, honestly. Yeah. I worked a year and a half in South Carolina before coming back here, and it's great to be back.
Yeah.
Just like Lee was talking about, for changing people's lives, it means a lot more when it's people that I grew up with.
Absolutely.
Big time. And to see this community change, like, it makes me more passionate, and I know Mosier has the same passion, so it's kind of like he was saying, the tide rises all the ships, so when we work together, we want to see a big change.
Yeah. You guys like our power couple. I love it. I do. I think it's fantastic, and I mean that.
He's the cuter one of the power couple.
I don't know. It's subjective. One of us is married, so.
Well, Dr. Voyles, I'm very, very proud of you, and and maybe next time you come on, we'll start off focusing more on you, I guess, on that. And welcome to the team, and Dr. Mosier, I love that, and I love that you are a doctor that always wants to keep learning, and your mind always keep it going. My dad was huge on that. Keep your mind always going, and I love that you love Dr. Voyles challenging you. You know what I mean, and making you a better person, like you're saying, and making you stop and think about things too. You guys complement each other very well. Sounds great.
Well done. Good job, and a great fit. You guys got a great practice going.
Well, it took me 2 years to recruit him.
I know. He was very persistent. Hey,
nothing comes fast. Remember, you just have to take time, right? Yeah. And look at the results. That right there, So thank you, Dr. Voyles, for coming in. Dr. Mosier, thank you. And I love your stories. Yeah, I'll have to come back on and get some more stories. But don't forget, what are the hours at your facility there?
Oh, okay. It's Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, except for Thursdays. So today is Thursday, so it's my day off. So we're having some meetings.
Doing coffee club.
Which I do have a complaint.
Okay.
Just
no coffee.
I have all sorts of complaints for the mayor, But anyway, now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, oh boy, a nice cup of coffee.
I know.
So nice. But the only one that has coffee in this room is you.
I'm so bad. I did used to have, and Dr. Voyles might remember it. I used to have a coffee pot in here, but it would make such a weird, loud noise when it was being made, and I was like, oh. And then I would end up, nobody would drink it, and then I would end up drinking, because I will. If you build it, they will come, and I will drink it. So anyway, so I just stopped doing that. But you're right, you're in a long line of people that complain about that too. They're like, coffee club and no coffee, So maybe we can get a coffee sponsor. That would be that.
There we go.
Maybe so. That's maybe what we need to do. So, but thank you guys for coming in. Keep up the great work. And if anybody, I think it's important to take care of your health today. Today's quit making excuses. Give a call to the office, get an appointment in, and get checked out.
Absolutely. And when you call, I wanna boost up Dr. Voyles. Right?
Yeah.
Because yes, my schedule is pretty popular, and I still take new patients, but when you call the office, request Dr. Voyles.
Okay.
Right?
I would love to get to meet with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
I love that.
Great.
I love that. Well, that's what we, mean, and he's the new one, and I think that's fantastic. So, thank you guys for coming in. Mayor, thanks for hanging out with us.
Absolutely.
This morning. Very interesting,
Yes,
right?
yes, it was.
Made us sit up a little
A
straighter.
little straighter and watch my posture.
That's right.
They're going to tell on me.
That's right. And no falls, right?
Brand new hour, Speedy, Greg Adler, and Burge here. Thank you for joining us for a brand new show. It is the Rick Burgess Show. Thank you for being here, America. Making sense of it all, the voice of reason. Are you ready for a brand new hour of the show? Who's ready? Are you ready? Somebody say you're ready. Are you ready? So here we go. We've already been at this for 3 hours today. If you missed that, catch it on the archive today, either on the YouTube channel or the podcast channel. Let you know that the gang is all here. Maybe another unscreened phone calls coming up this hour. We've hit quite a few stories, and you can go back and get those if you missed any of that. We'll start this hour kind of looking, we talked last hour how just attending the kickoff of the semi-quincentennial celebration from a federal standpoint, from a country there in Washington, D.C., from the Capitol, the UFC fight. So we found out that now there's an attempt for the left, because they must stop these really, really controversial people like comedian Nate Bargatze. So, because we all know how controversial Nate can be. And the left says, well, what a fascist. And why is he a fascist? Because he went to the UFC event only to find out, though, he's a really big fan of the UFC. Probably has nothing to do with fascism. But the very, very, very political and non-controversial Larry David, and I know we all are concerned about how Larry David sees us. Yes.
Even though he is a very funny man, I would not consider him to be anyone that I would mold my worldview after, and anything important. But anyway, Larry said he was embarrassed by it, just embarrassed by the whole event. Now, Larry's not embarrassed about some of the things that he does, but he's embarrassed about the fact that we had this event, and just embarrassed. He was embarrassed to be American.
He was embarrassed to be American, yes.
Embarrassed to be an American. So I don't know what's happening with Fetterman. I really don't. But I will say this for about the 5th time now. Speedy has said it. I've said it. We've all said it. The more Fetterman gets his mind back, and the more that the doctors have helped him, the more he keeps leaning to the right. Remember when he didn't have his mind, he was far to the left.
When he had to read the computer to talk.
When he didn't know who he was, it's almost like all of us in life. When we weren't very smart, we were left. And then as we got a little more wisdom, we started going to the right. I feel Fetterman doing that. I don't know what's causing this. I can only say that those two things seem to be happening at the same time. He weighed in on this. And Adler told me, I haven't heard this. Adler said that he, believe it or not, had a pretty clear statement about it.
Yes, yeah. This is courtesy of TMZ DC, which I love that TMZ has people in DC now. Evidently, they didn't really follow that circuit, but now they are very heavily.
Sure.
Fetterman was asked about Larry David's comments. So here it is.
Larry David right now is going viral because he said that the UFC event at the White House made him embarrassed to be an American. To that, you say what?
I'd say lighten up, Francis. You know, really kind of get over himself. You know, like, hey, I'm proud to be American. And if you are embarrassed or whatever because of a UFC thing, get over yourself, dude.
Wait, what do you mean, Francis?
You know, he obviously hadn't seen the movie Stripes.
He didn't get it.
He hadn't seen Stripes.
By the way, I was asked by my wife, where did Lighten Up Francis come from? And I said it was the movie Stripes.
Yeah.
And with Bill Murray.
Sergeant Holcomb.
And this
young reporter didn't get the reference.
Yeah, he was hung up on it for some reason. Of course,
Now-
Fetterman's got his hoodie on.
He does.
But I like what he says. Of all people, see, this is almost like two ends of the spectrum. Anybody being after the comedian Nate Bargatze, or anybody weighing, and now Larry David, who I thought I've heard him say this. I'm not saying he speaks for Jerry, okay, but I've heard them both say this. We're just looking for funny. All that matters is whether it's funny. And then all of a sudden he's going to get on some soapbox and take serious a UFC fight. I would think a Larry David person, this sounds like an episode of Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they were spoofing on Steinbrenner, them spoofing on Trump, I think would be hilarious.
Yeah.
They would find that to be funny.
Oh, he'd give them a lot of material. He gives us material.
I would think a comedian would actually look at a UFC fight to kick off the semi-quincentennial is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly Larry David has no sense of humor, and is taking this all like super serious. It just seems odd, because if you remotely tried to say that Larry David and Seinfeld are Curb Your Enthusiasm, especially if you were to ever say to them, hey, I don't think that's funny, you shouldn't do that, what would they tell you? Lighten up, Francis. But now Larry David, who thinks he ought to be able to do anything, say anything, as long as it's funny, is going to give us a speech about a UFC fight. I mean, that's just crazy inconsistent.
It is. I guess, I don't know, maybe his Knicks won, the New York Knicks won, so now he's all just freewheeling, letting it fly. I don't know.
Well, he's not going to be happy. What I just read, Dana White's announced they're going to do it again, and the pastor out of Louisiana, they give him a shot at the title. So Larry David's going to be mad.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Did y'all see
Shot at the title.
Tonight, the main event.
Preacher or Spirit, what was his name?
Snell or something? Pastor.
Do you find it odd, back to the pastor story again, which, by the way, we did do,
Spell.
Tony Spell. When we go back to this, isn't it weird to you sometimes how some of the most wormy, unable to defend themselves people can be the mouthiest and say the meanest, most horrible things? It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
and people that want to fight in public are generally pretty bad at it.
They
You know,
really
pretty bad at fighting. I'm like, oh wow, your technique is terrible.
This guy did not get one lick in.
No,
not
no,
one.
no,
He
straight.
tried to start it.
Yeah,
but that was it.
Yeah.
Right. And you love this little reporter, as Tex is talking about. You see that they think that Fetterman might remotely being sexist here, or trying to say something. What's Francis? It's from Stripes.
Right, it's not a slur or anything.
His name was Psycho. His real name was Francis, but if you call him Francis, he'll kill you.
It means calm down, man.
Yeah.
You're taking this way too serious.
Anybody touched his stuff, he'll kill him.
All
Remember who gave those?
He's just started going, lighten up, Francis. Hey, lighten up, Francis.
Because calling him Francis was one of the things that's going to kill you.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's disappointing. I mean, again, Larry David and some of the things that he's written and done about life's awkward moments are very, very funny. Now, he can get a little blue, and I don't care for that. But